You are eager to move and feel like an athlete again, but you're afraid to because you've been given misinformation, outdated recommendations, flat out lies, all the things that we like to call the nope.
In this series, we will debunk the nope, transform it into hope, allowing you to reclaim your birthright of healthy and athletic.
Don't forget to subscribe and share so that you and your friends are not missing out on any of this content. We want you to become a lifelong athlete. Let's get to it. Hey Brandy, what's today's nope?
I'm stuck with chronic pain.
A statement that we hear all the time, the hope to that nope is that we are not stuck with chronic pain because of the gift of neuroplasticity. And when we understand what pain actually is, we start to realize that we have agency over that.
Today's video is from a recent webinar.
In this clip from this webinar, you'll learn all about that, how we view pain, and the points of why you're not stuck with it. So we hope you enjoy this clip from our previous webinar. You are not stuck with chronic pain. You're stuck with chronic pain. This statement is so thrown out there. You're gonna have pain the rest of your life. You are gonna feel this, you're gonna need this thing, you're gonna need medication, you're gonna need opioids the rest of your life. And guess what? If opioids were gonna be the solution, they would have been the solution by now. The United States consumes 80% of the world's opioid supply, 99% of the hydrocodone supply. And guess what? We still have some of the highest rates of chronic pain. Opioids are not the solution. And guess what? You're not stuck with chronic pain. We have learned so much about the brain and how it works by prediction, and that pain is an output, and that we can really change this. To this point, we can say that if you are choosing to stay stuck with chronic pain, you will be stuck with chronic pain. But if you make the courageous decision, if you make the bold decision to say, I'm not stuck with chronic pain, I'm changing my outcome, I'm changing my life, you can do it. But it's gonna be learned, it's gonna be earned. And if you're saying that, you have self-agency, establish your goals, and let's talk about the framework to achieve. So we have a picture up here of Albert Einstein. You're probably wondering, what the heck does Albert Einstein have to do with chronic pain? Let me share this story with you. It's freshman year. The atheist philosophy professor states to the class, if God created everything, then did God create evil? No one answers. Einstein raises his hand. He says, sir, does darkness exist? The professor goes, of course darkness exists. Einstein goes, it doesn't. We can measure the speed of light. We have different levels of light. We don't have the speed of darkness. We've been looking for dark matter and we haven't found it. The only reason we know of darkness is because it's an absence of light. Darkness doesn't exist. It's an absence of light. The professor goes, okay. Einstein goes, professor, does cold exist? The professor goes, of course cold exists. And if you're from the Northeast like I am, you're like, yeah, it does. Einstein goes on, he goes, we live nowhere near absolute zero. What we interpret as cold is actually just an absence of heat. The professor, okay, where are you going with this? Einstein goes, you imply that God created everything, so God must have created evil. Evil doesn't exist. All evil is an absence of good. I was really taken away from that. I reflected on that. And after helping thousands of people get out of chronic pain and get back to activities and sports and just things that they love, I started asking that same question. Does pain exist? You've had pain. I've had pain. Pain is not a bad thing. There's one condition in which pain is not experienced, and that's called congenital insensitivity. And their lifespan is about 30 years or younger because pain teaches us limits. Pain is a good teacher to let us know that something needs to change. Pain lets us know that there's some sort of threat, that we may lose or have already lost this meaningful activity. But when our brain is given a different input, it changes the output of pain. And this was showed again in World War II when Henry Beecher, the father of placebo, was a medic in the military. And soldiers had these massive wounds and he ran out of opioids. He ran out of morphine to inject in them. So he started using saline. And he noticed that when he injected them with saline, their pain went away and they're able to get off the battlefield and get to the medic tent and then be taken care of. And he started being really curious as to, I gave him saline. They didn't know I gave him saline, but they had the responses if they had morphine. How did that happen? How did they change that? What happened?
Well, their brain interpreted it as this thing is giving me safety. This thing's allowing me to thrive. So I don't need to feel this other thing. Also, I'm in this environment that's creating this crazy response that I have to try to survive. I have to try to live. So I don't need to focus on my leg. I don't need to focus on the wound on my leg. I need to focus on getting out of harm's way. We're not stuck with chronic pain. Our nervous system, we have neuroplasticity. Neurons that wire together, they fire together. So back to this question, does pain exist? I've felt it, you felt it, everyone here has felt pain at some point or another, but your experience of pain is different than my experience of the pain, even with the same injury. We can both injure our shoulder, have this same exact diagnosis, but experience it differently from each other. It's a subjective experience. So what I've learned through the years is just the question, does pain exist? Or is it the absence or the perceived threat of losing meaningful activity? Because in people that have had chronic pain and they've made the courageous decision, the bold decision to say, this isn't my life, this isn't my outcome, I'm gonna move forward. And they replace their day with meaningful activities, whatever that meaningful activity is to that individual person. As they replace it, and as they keep working towards it, and they keep working towards it, and they keep working towards it, no matter the setback, they keep working towards it. Their pain gets smaller, 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 and then eventually they're out of chronic pain. So we can get rid of this chronic pain pandemic. We can decrease this chronic pain bucket. Your daily life does not need to be controlled by chronic pain. We just need to replace it with an updated framework and build you up to get ready to get back to those meaningful activities.
We are here to empower you to get out of the nope, replace it with hope, and help you to reclaim your birthright of healthy and athletic.
In this video, we busted some myths, updated your education, showed you some of our favorite movements, external loading, but at best, that's only half the equation. The other half is internal load, how we adapt to it. We don't just specialize in movement, but how we actually adapt to it to become lifelong athletes.
We can't wait to coach you if you're interested, so head over to hopenotnope.org and we'll see you there.